Hello and welcome to my very first yoga video with MAK Holistic Yoga. So for our mental health minute today, we're going to be talking about story. So we are naturally wired for story. We're storytelling creatures and we make most of our decisions based on story in the form of experiences and events that our brain decides that is meaningful. So to illustrate this, there was a Stanford professor who did a study with his students where he lectured on crime for 90 minutes. 90% of this lecture was statistics and facts, while 10% was actually a story. After 10 minutes had passed, 63% of the students were able to recall the story, while only 5% could recall a single fact from the whole lecture. This is just an example of how our brain holds on to story. Story is a way that we horizontally integrate the right and left sides of our brain. The right side of our brain is the seat of creativity, intuition, and emotion, while the left side is linear and logical and linguistic. So you can see how story actually integrates those two parts of our brain by providing a plot, but also a meaning and emotional experience behind the story. So let's take that information from the top down and now let's experience from the bottom up as we integrate this knowledge into our bodies through the story of a seed. All right, so starting on your back, go ahead and bring your knees to your chest. Just beginning to flow side from side, creating circles. And begin to massage the low part of your back. Let me bring to your mind screen the image of a seed planted deep beneath the earth. As you continue to move in a circular pattern, feel the energy of a seed. Feel the anticipation, the hope, the potential of that seed. And squeeze your knees to your chest. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze until you're in a tight, tight ball, feeling all of those emotions. And exhale, slowly unfold. Bringing your hands to your sides, the palms of your feet together, and your knees out wide into reclining butterfly. You might want to bring your heels farther away from your pelvis. You might want to bring your heels closer for more of a stretch. If you live in a stable body, such as myself, you might want to give yourself a little more space so you can relax into this position, feeling your hips release. And let me invite you to just begin to notice your breath. Notice the places where your breath lives in your body. Without judgment or analysis. Simply becoming aware of the rise and fall of that sensation. Rest your right hand onto your belly. Begin to invite the breath into your low belly. Feeling your hand ride the wave of your breath. On your next inhale, place your left hand on your ribs. Feeling first your belly, then your ribs expand. Continue to lengthen your inhale and your exhale. Now moving your right hand onto your chest so that your left hand is still on your rib and your right hand is on your chest. Invite the breath even higher up into your chest and throat. And now visualize your breath as a wave entering belly, ribs, chest, and exhale, chest, ribs, and belly. Take that breath on your own. Seeing how long you can make your breath. On your next inhale, bring your right knee into neutral position with your foot firmly on the ground. And inhale your left knee to meet your right. Bring your feet to the outside edges of the mat and allow your knees to fall in together in constructive rest pose. As you exhale, begin to windshield wiper your knees to the right. Inhale, back up. Maintaining that core connection, exhale to the left. And inhale, up. Begin to match breath to movement at your own pace. And as you do, let's think of our seed. As the seed begins to burst out, think of those first sprouts of green as they travel through unknown soil towards a place they've never been but long to go. Think of your body as those shoots of green life as you wiggle and move. On your next inhale, plant your feet hips width distance apart and begin to roll your pelvis in and up as you push off until only your feet, your shoulders, and your arms are on the mat into a pelvic tilt. Exhale, vertebrae by vertebra, back onto the mat. Inhale, lift up. And exhale like you were dropping a string of pearls one at a time back onto the mat. Feel the strength of your legs in your back body as you push yourself back up into the air. And exhale, release. Roll on to your right side, plant your left hand, and come into tabletop pose. So you'll find your wrists right below your shoulders and your knees right below your hips. Feeling into the stability of this position. On your next inhale, lift your hips, lift your gaze into cow. And exhale into cat, arching your spine and lifting those collarbones. Exhale into cow. As we begin to lubricate the spine, just move in a way that feels luxurious to you. Maybe you add a little twisting, just taking these gentle movements as we begin our practice in our story. On your next inhale, curl your toes and press back into your first downward dog of the day. Pedal out your feet. Go ahead and press your chest towards your thighs. And don't focus so much on if your knees are straight or if your heels are to the mat. Think more about lengthening from the crown of your head to the base of your spine. Shake your head, yes and no, releasing the tension of your neck and your shoulders. And on your next inhale, come into three-legged dog by lifting your right foot into the air, sweeping it forward. And you can always help your ankle there. And turning your left foot to parallel the short edge of the mat. Place your hands on your hips and fan your arms up into Warrior Two, Virabhadrasana 2. Floating your arms into a straight line from fingertip to fingertip. Take a moment to look at your foundation, being sure that you can draw a line between your front heel and the back arch of your foot, making sure that your knee is hovering over your ankle. And once you feel strong and stable, lift your gaze over your right hand. Feel into the strength and stability of this pose. Notice how being in this pose may have changed your emotional state, or maybe not. On your next inhale, flip both palms, straighten your front leg, and bring your palms into a prayer position over your head. And exhale, palms down back into Warrior Two. Inhale, gather the energy as if you were reaching towards the sun, and exhale into Warrior Two. Now match that movement to your own breath at whatever pace feels natural, comfortable, and mindful. And as you move, imagine a tree beginning to form out of the ground, reaching towards the sun, gathering the sun's energy, and growing longer. Now, meeting back in Warrior Two, flip your right palm, lean forward, and as if you were painting the sky, stretch the side body into Warrior, Reverse Warrior. Maybe you're finding your hand on your thigh, maybe it wraps to the front. Either way, thinking more about how it feels and less about how it looks. Begin to find more space in your front body. Exhale, plant your hands on the mat and step back into downward facing dog. Now, inhale the left leg up, sweep it through, parallel the back foot and the side edge of the mat. Place your hands on your hips as you rise up and check your foundation. Lift and spread your toes. Draw a line between the heel and the arch of your back foot. And be sure to find your knee hovering above your ankle. Inhale, extend your hands as if you were to make a straight line of energy, shooting beams of sunlight from all of your fingers. Taking a moment to just arrive in this pose. Sense the emotional energy of the pose, the determination, the resilience, the strength. Begin to lift your palms, straightening your front leg, and even looking up towards the sky. Exhale back into Warrior Two. Inhale, hands up into prayer position, and exhale, Warrior Two. Once again, linking breath to movement, tapping into your own body as you gather energy and release it. Coming back into Warrior Two, flip the top palm and paint the sky into reverse warrior. Feeling that space as you grow your limbs long. Exhale, windmill your arms down. Plant your hands on the mat, step back into plank. And begin to come to your knees. Find your toes together and rest in child's pose. If child's pose is not available to you today, you might want to use a chair and rest your head like so onto the chair. You can do the same for downward facing dog in almost any position. Find what feels good. Now coming back into tabletop, curl your toes under and press back into downward facing dog for just a moment as we springboard, hop, step, or walk up to the front of your mat. Now, once you're at the front of your mat, allow your body to hang heavy in a forward fold. Bend your knees generously here, feeling a wave of energy as it rises all the way from your heels up towards your waist and cascades over your spine. On an exhale. Perhaps grabbing opposite elbows into ragdoll and kind of moving side to side as you just release your lower back. Inhale, plant your hands on your shins or your thighs, whatever allows you to create a straight back sensation in halfway lift. Roll your shoulders onto your back. Feel the space between your earlobes and your shoulders. And exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, step back into plank. And exhale, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. In exhale, downward facing dog. Step, hop, or walk to the front of your mat. And let's take that sun salutation one more time. This time your body knows what to do. Allow your body to take the lead. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, plant the hands, step back into plank, and exhale, chaturanga dandasana, press up, curl up into upward facing dog, and press back into downward facing dog. Step, hop, or jump to the front of the mat. And in a reverse swan dive, sweep your hands all the way up into extended mountain pose, Tadasana, and allow the hands to gently float down to the sides. Now, from this position, lift and spread your toes and ground down through your big toe, pinky toe, inner and outer heel. Take a moment to feel the strength, maybe move a little bit side to side. Feel the stability when your feet are rooted through all four corners. Press your thigh bones slightly forward as you lengthen your spine by tucking in your pelvis just slightly. So you're not arching and you're not hunching. You're coming into that anatomical neutral. Roll your shoulders onto your spine, onto your back, and broaden your chest. Press the base of your spine slightly back and your chin slightly down, and feel the neutrality of this position. Feel the balance from your head to your toe. From this place of rootedness and roundedness, take your big toe to your heel. Leave your toe on the ground for a moment as we transition into Vrikshasana tree pose. Find a drishti in front of you, a focal point that's tethering you. Think of it as another root grounding your tree. With that strong, steady gaze, you might play with bringing your foot to your calf, perhaps all the way up on your thigh, but trying to avoid the joint and not pressing on your knee. Find that place of challenge, and that might be toe on the ground today, and that's perfectly fine. Maybe spreading your branches up, playing around a little bit with that. It's okay to wiggle, even trees wiggle. Or perhaps taking a Bhu Mudra, peace fingers to the ground, as some more roots, maintaining that strong, steady gaze forward. Lift your knee and gently float your leg down. Maybe shake out your strong left leg. Amazing work. Let's try it on the other side. So come back to that place of anatomical neutral. Feel the stability. Feel the broadening of the chest. Feel the tuck of the pelvis. Zip up the low belly as if you were zipping on a real tight pair of jeans. Bring your hands to heart center as you bring your left toe to your right ankle. Take a deep breath here, filling belly, inflating ribs, all the way up into the chest and throat, and feeling that wave of breath. Exhale. Now maybe playing with the calf, maybe bringing your foot all the way to your thigh, whatever feels accessible on this side of the body, and keeping in mind that we're different on every side, so we're not symmetrical, and that's okay. Perhaps you've found that place of stability, perhaps you're still wiggling. Try to accept where you are today and take whatever mudra, whatever hand position feels best to you. Maybe peace fingers to the ground if you're looking for more stability. Maybe hands to the sky if you're looking for more hope, joy, and freedom. Remember that our bodies, how we move them, sends a message to our brain as to how we feel. It's pretty amazing. On your next inhale, lift your left knee and gently float it down to meet your right. Maybe shaking out, maybe allowing your whole body to twist side to side, expelling that energy and just giving yourself a little break, a little gratitude for that hard work that you just did. Now, plant your hands as you come into a forward fold. Plant your hands on the mat and step back into a downward facing dog. Lift your left leg and sweep it through into pigeon pose. So maybe you find today that your pigeon, that your foot is close to your feet, maybe it's closer to your pelvis, whatever feels good. You shouldn't be straining or stretching. And if you feel any tightness in the knee, go ahead and come out of this and take a figure 4 on your back. Or tuck your foot in towards your pelvis. Now, before we begin to return to the earth, let's have one more burst of energy from all that sunlight we got. So lift your hands as if you're about to high five somebody, and we're going to do 3 pigeon lifts. So on your exhale, fold forward, chest to thigh. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, fold forward, and inhale, come back up. Exhale, fold forward, and find that place of rest. So maybe that's on your hands and that feels good. Maybe you find yourself on your elbows, or maybe even all the way head on the mat. Find that edge of sensation without pulling, and just sink into this pose. Once again, if this pose is not accessible to you for any reason, you can be on your back and thread your hands through your legs, or you could even take a chair and place your head on the chair. Just give yourself a little more space in the belly and in the hips. And as we take 3 deep breaths in this pose, let me bring to your mind the image of the leaves of your big strong tree as they turn orange and yellow and red, and begin to break off from the tree. Imagine a leaf as it twists and turns in the wind, and finally lets go, moving in a zigzag pattern towards the earth until it gently lands in the place that it began. Palms on the mat, press your body up into downward facing dog, and take any movement that feels good to release that side of your body. I like to move my hips side to side. Lift your left leg, sweep it through, and pigeon on the other side. So before we rest, we have to work, right? Makes the rest even sweeter. So lift your palms and go ahead and high five your mat. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, allow your body to fold. Untuck your back foot into pigeon pose. Imagining that leaf as it joins its brothers and sisters in the ground, and the tree becomes bare. Take one deep breath, and as you do, feel the back body expand into the ribs. In this pose, you can feel your breath in your ribs. And exhale completely. Inhale, plant your hands, and push back into downward facing dog. Come into tabletop and go ahead and take a seated position. Come into staff pose, straight spine, flexed feet. On an inhale, cross your left leg over your right, hug the knee into the chest. Grow tall with your in-breath and twist with your out-breath. Maybe hooking your right hand, maybe just hugging the knee to the chest. Not wringing or forcing into this position at all, but more just lengthening with each in-breath and finding a twist with each out-breath. Perhaps taking your gaze over your left shoulder. Release that pose and come into it on the other side. First, hugging your right leg into your chest. And perhaps lengthening and twisting so far that you hook your left elbow over your left knee. Coming to that edge of sensation. Lengthen on the inhale, twist on the exhale. And coming back into staff pose. Parallel your arms and begin to roll down vertebrae by vertebra like that string of pearls, into Shavasana, corpse pose. Feeling the toes splay open, releasing all tension in the feet, releasing the calves, softening the knees, allowing the thighs to just rest deeply on the earth. Releasing your hips, softening the low belly, chest, ribs. Releasing your shoulders, maybe rolling them onto the mat, broadening the chest. Relaxing the arms and allowing the hands to face the sky. Sense and feel into the palms of your hands. Notice the parts of your body that are touching the earth and the parts that are touching the sky. In, breathe out. Deep, slow, exhale. Calm, inhale. Ease, exhale. In, out, deep, slow, calm, ease. As you continue to feel your body sink into the earth, let me bring back into your awareness the story of the seed. And as we close our story, we know that the tree returns to the earth, knowing that it will bloom again, feeling that same anticipation, potential, and hope of the seed. And let me offer that that seed needs the rain as much as the sun. And the deeper the roots of that tree, the higher the tree can go, the further it can expand. May we all bring the energy of the ground and the vibrancy of the air with us. Let's take one final breath, the deepest breath of the day, into belly, ribs, chest, and exhale, chest, ribs, and belly. Begin to roll to your right side very slowly. Take a moment to rest on your side. Take your left hand to the ground and press up, letting your head be the last to come up into a seated position. Hands to heart center. Namaste.